Hello and welcome to Iron Dinos. No, your eyes do not deceive you. We are going back to the mid-80s. We are going back to the Commodore 64 and we are taking a look at Monty on the Run. Just before we start, that Monty Freedom Kit, that is a piracy detection thing. So basically, you have to pick those exact items because each will come into play somewhere throughout the game. If you don't have them, literally, it will stop the game. You will not be able to complete it. As you might have noticed, the first one there was a jetpack. There is a big jetpacking section. Don't pick that. You cannot jetpack. Also, one of the cruelest things me and my friend found out, because we didn't look at the manual, we didn't know it was copyright protection or whatever. We just thought it was like a fun little thing. We assumed it had some purpose, but we didn't know what it was. So you can get to the very final screen of the game. You can get to the very end of the game where there's this little flashing block. If you don't have the passport, there will be a enemy in front of that block that will kill you on contact. You cannot beat the game. It's so utterly cruel. Speaking of items, see that dynamite over there? So when you go through the game, you'll pick up, as you've seen, coins and cupcakes and stuff like that, which you need to complete the game. But you're expected to know, just on looking at it, dynamite. Oh, I might need that to blow something up later. No, insta-kill. Insta-kill, because it's that kind of game. Because that's kind of how European platform was rolled back then. They were not built to be your friend. They were built to kick your ass, and they did, as you'll see in this. I don't get particularly far in the game. I've not played this in what 30 plus years. But I got an N64 Mini for Christmas, and I thought, what better time to have a look back and see if I'm still as charmed by this as I was back then. And despite swearing a few times in rage at how freaking difficult it is, the charm is absolutely still there for me. Like, all of the character designs, it's so like, this is quintessentially European to me. Like, when I think of the difference between Europe and even America, because I considered Nintendo and stuff to be American at the time. I obviously know they're Japanese, but some stuff was changed to American sensibilities, whereas this is just wacky nonsense. This is very much in line, because, you know, this was made by British programmers, I believe, and, well, we'll get to the plot in a second. It was very much made in the UK, but it's so quintessentially British. Like, there's not exactly a logic to the enemies and stuff, but there kind of is if you were playing all these games at the time, made with British sensibilities. They're all these kind of weird, wacky, slightly grotesque enemies, along with just random household items that are now evil because reasons. You know, that's a mug with a face that flies. It's just nonsense, but it's quite in my opinion, it's a kind of nonsense that I very much associate with this kind of game and this period of gaming, and the British sense of humour in general. But the actual plot of this game, because this is, I believe, the second game in the season, Monty Mole was a miner. The British mining strikes, and he stole a bag of coal right at the end of the first one. So now the cops are onto him, and he needs to, as was the style at the time, basically escape from the authorities and disappear into mainland Europe. I mean, come on, that's so 80s and British, it's fucking delightful. But yeah, it's so much fun, he says as he dies. It's so much fun to look at, and the controls are a bit weird because you've got this big stiff joystick, right? And basically that controls Monty. So Monty can go left, right. When you're on ladders, you've got to be quite perfectly placed on them, but when you go to ladders and such, up and down will take you up and down, but you actually have to push the joystick up to jump directly up, or diagonally in a direction to to jump diagonally, and once you're in the air you have absolutely no control. Like you've lost all control over the character until he safely lands. But this game, like a large part of the game's challenge is kind of in timing, and as you'll see here, being somewhat pixel perfect. Look, 1 pixel either way, you're dead right here. Yeah, a lot of this game is about timing and just making sure everything lines up so you can beat each room. So each room is almost like a little miniature puzzle, or a little series of miniature puzzles. Took me a little while to figure out he doesn't stop at the doorway. So yeah, you just need to kind of learn the rules for each character and each monster and each room, and quite frankly, practice and practice and practice. I don't show off an awful lot of the game because I've not played it in 30 odd years, and it's really fucking hard. So no possible way of knowing that was coming, but it is what it is. It's part of the course of this kind of game. So yeah, your arc in your jump has to be so precise, otherwise, sorry, you're losing another life. But yeah, I still love the sprite work in this. I know I was talking about the design earlier, but like, look at Monty and the frames of animation he got. I like all of the things have got a couple of frames of animation. Everything's moving, everything's moving, everything has a few frames to just make sure that nothing's particularly boring to look at. And it's all quite jolly and also a little bit grotesque. But yeah, one thing about Monty's sprite I always noticed is that when he's walking to the left, he has an eyeball, and when he's walking to the right, he does not. There's a little precursor there. You drive Sir Clive's C5. a little nod to Sir Clive Sinclair there with his weird little car, and of course the sound effects for what they are appropriate and quite nice. There's basically one when you pick stuff up, and of course a squishy sound effect and a death sound effect, stuff like that. And of course there is this song. There is this bit of music which goes on for like 5 whole minutes and like has a whole little story unto itself. It's one of the best things about the game. It's one of the things I most remember about the game. I get like little chills when I hear that opening note. This is on YouTube. You know, people have put this on YouTube, and I will go back and occasionally watch full playthroughs, but I will just sit and listen to the music. A couple of awesome guys, a couple of awesome people out there have gone and done this with electric guitars and made it into a metal song, and it's so frigging cool. It's so frigging cool. But yeah, I just wanted to take a little bit of time, and there's literally nothing I could have done there. Yeah, I just wanted to take a little time and talk about one of my childhood absolute favourite games. I love this thing more than Mario. I love this more than almost anything, and I must have played this game for God knows how many hours, because like sitting playing it for yesterday, I played for an hour, and you're seeing my best runs in this, just to show how much trial and error and how much practice needed to go into getting literally anywhere in this game, and then eventually finding out, as we did, that you couldn't progress at certain points, so we had to go back and retry the whole game with different loadouts at the start of the game because we figured we'd got something wrong. You know, hours and hours were sunk into this game, and I never regretted a second of it. And honestly, now that I've got it on my C64, I'm gonna try and complete it again, just for myself, next time I'm off on holiday. But that's enough from me. I know what a lot of you are here for, is the song. So here it is in its entirety, along with a death montage of the hour I spent playing it, trying to get the footage for this video. Enjoy!